Dialogues now and move into Dialogue 2. Okay, Dialogue 2, let's get down to business. Dialogue 2, let's move straight into it. And this one now is continuing from our previous dialogue. Now, this time the meeting is about to begin, and Sato is meeting a friend called Peter, or a co-worker called Peter. So, hello Peter, it's been a long time. Sato, how have you been? I've been great, thanks. I hear your wife has just had a baby. Yes, a wonderful bouncing baby boy. You must be very proud. Yes, I am. It has been a wonderful experience. Okay, so, hello Peter, it's been a long time. It's been a long time? Don't worry, I will explain that one shortly. Sato, how have you been? I've been great, thanks. Now, why are we using here, how have you been? The reason is it's been a long time since Peter and Sato have met. So we're talking about the past tense now. How have you been over the past few weeks or months? So I have been great. I've been great. You use the past tense. How are you? You could say, I'm great, thanks. But in this sense, how have you been? So Peter's now using a past tense term. You need to give a current tense term. And okay, I've been great. I hear your wife has just had a baby. Yes, a wonderful bouncing baby boy. Yes, and I'll explain the bouncing baby boy in a moment. And you must be very proud. You must be very proud. Yes, I am. It has been a wonderful experience. So there we go. That's the second dialogue of the week. And let's just move into the vocabulary. Okay, now let's move into the vocabulary section here. Just a few different words. It's been a long time. Okay, we use it's been a long time for past tense versions. And we have here, I hear that. Now, I hear that is I think that. Is similar to I think that. I hear that, and meaning that you have, you may have heard some news about that person, but you're not sure. So if you're not sure about something, you can just say, I hear that your wife's just given birth to a baby. I hear that. So I'm not 100% sure. I hear that. Okay. And then we have a wonderful bouncing baby boy. This is a great English expression. A wonderful bouncing baby boy. This means that that your bouncing baby, meaning that it's very, very intelligent, very, very healthy, and it could be a wonderful bouncing baby girl if you have a daughter rather than a son. So a wonderful bouncing baby boy or a wonderful bouncing baby girl, it just means a very healthy baby, a very healthy and big almost baby. So that's all that means. Okay, now there's your vocabulary for this week. That's Dialogue 1 and Dialogue 2. We have got practice time coming up, but before that, let's do Podcast of the Week. Okay, now this week's Podcast of the Week is Go Fluent's English in the Real World. Podcast description for this one is improve your English in a quick and interesting way. GoFluent's weekly podcast provides you with real-life responses to real-life situations, guaranteed to improve your English communication skills. Face the world with confidence. Subscribe now. Okay, so you can subscribe to English in the Real World by going to the iTunes Music Store and going through the English language podcasts, or you can go to GoFluent's website, which is www.gofluent.com, and you can add /m/B2B. So there you go. That's this week's Podcast of the Week, GoFluent's English in the Real World. Okay, now let's get some practice done. So Let's move on to practice time number 1. Okay, so practice time number 1. This is dialogue number 1, if you remember. So we've got, "Good morning, Sarah. How are you today?" "I'm fine, Sato. Did you sleep well?" "Yes, I did, thank you." "So, what is today's meeting about?" "I think it's about how we can improve our sales." "Who's taking the meeting?" "Stephen from our Singapore office." Okay, so I'm going to be Sato, and you can be Sarah. So let's just get rid of Sarah's words. Okay, so you just have to respond to me when I ask you the questions. So, "Good morning, Sarah. How are you today?" "Yes, I did, thank you. So, what is today's meeting about?" "Who's taking the meeting?" Okay, let's just bring back Sarah's words there. So we got, "Good morning, Sarah. How are you today?" "I'm fine, Sato. Did you sleep well?" "Yes, I did, thank you." "So, what is today's meeting about?" "I think it's about how we can improve our sales." "Who's taking the meeting?" "Stephen from our Singapore office." Okay, now you are going to be Sato. So let's just get rid of Sato's side. There we go. Okay, off you go. "I'm fine, Sato. Did you sleep well?" "I think it's about how we can improve our sales." "Stephen from our Singapore office." Okay, let's just bring back the second part. So there you go. So you should have said then, "Good morning, Sarah. How are you today?" "I'm fine, Sato. Did you sleep well?" "Yes, I did, thank you." "So, what is today's meeting about?" "I think it's about how we can improve our sales." "Who's taking the meeting?" "Stephen from our Singapore office." There you go. Okay, I think it's time for a little break now. So let's just go for a quick break. When we come back, we've still got learning tip of the week. We've got our second dialogue practice time. We've got expression of the week and this week's to-do list. So join us again after this break. Okay, welcome back to the show. Now, here we go. We've got this week's learning tip of the week. And as I mentioned to you when we spoke about this week's website of the week, I suggested that you started an account with an English-speaking community website. And when you do, you make your own profile and maybe put a few pictures on there. And then you can start making friends and contacts in English. And I suppose this is like the old-fashioned way of pen pals, making pen pals, but obviously with today's globalized world and the internet, it makes things so much easier to make these friends. So, this week's learning tip of the week is make an account with an English-speaking community website and start making friends and contacts. It's a great way to learn English. It gives you a wonderful opportunity to actually practice your English. And you can obviously, if you make friends with native speakers, ask them lots of questions about expressions and idioms and all sorts of things. So there you go. Make an account with an English-speaking community website. Okay, now it's time for us to get straight back into the practice time. So let's bring up dialogue number 2. So this is coming from dialogue